Welcome back, blade lovers, and thanks for joining. Got a brand new knife for you today. Another one from the company that's knocking it out of the park, along with many others, of course, and that is Kansept knives. We have a brand new one from Kansept that just hit recently. It's a design by Greg Schob, S-C-H-O-B. And he runs a company called Sparrow Knife Co. And one thing I will say is he says on Instagram he's growing his shop with the goal of going full-time when he retires from the military in the summer of 2023. So sounds like a custom maker, and we're going to take a look at this new one, which has been designated as a combo EDC and tactical self-defense knife, but one that can also handle daily tasks. And it's a beauty. I'm going to open it in a moment. But one thing that attracted it to me when I saw the pics on White Mountain Knives was this particular model, and I'm a big sucker, as you may know, for carbon fiber, particularly this beautiful marbled carbon fiber. These gold anode pivot pins on both sides, thumb studs, and yep, it's a front flipper as well. So instead of having a titanium bolster on the front, we have a reverse bolster on the back, if you want to call it that. This one happens to be in a interesting blackened blade, kind of stone washed. Show you real quick a few of the others here from White Mountain. You can get that model, which is black and blue G10 with titanium handle. You can get the one that I got, and there's your prices, $178. You will get 10% off if you use the discount code OLDSWORD. Here's a Damascus version with kind of a real interesting black and red G10. And here is a, what are they calling this? This is a brown micarta with titanium handle. And here is a natural jade G10 with a black titanium handle. So lots of choices there. Some are pretty wild. I like this. It's both attractive and business-like. Interesting blade shape. Someone mentioned when I showed a video on Instagram and kind of a preview video here on the channel that they would like to see the jimping run all the way up here. Yeah, perhaps, but you know, each maker and each designer has their own concept, excuse the pun, in where that jimping should go and how useful it is. I find that if you're going to slip off of the knife, particularly when it has this harpoon style blade, your slip is going to be side to side. If you're pushing real hard, you may slip off from side to side. Most jimping is designed to give you traction from front to back, so just something to think about in my own observation here. But the jimping that's here is sort of below the frame of the knife, and therefore doesn't really grab you too much. Then again, you've got a full length choil area here where you can pinch, so you can come right up, lock the middle finger in there. I think we need to back out a little more. Lock the middle finger in there and have a very, very good grip. So you can grip it that way. You can come up here for maybe some fine cutting. You've got a point that's well positioned, very much kind of a triangular shape, spear point. Again, you could call it a harpoon. Beautiful bead blasted reverse bolster, as I was trying to tell you earlier. A hole for lanyard, nice and clear cut through, and wide open construction with a couple of barrel spacers there. It's interesting in that I'm going to call it a frame lock because it is the frame that's engaging and not a separate liner that's built onto the frame. Appears as though there is a hardened steel insert in there. Yes, there is. And while we're there, no weight relieving. However, notice that your frame is really cut in for these handle inserts. So, you know, you're lightening it a bit with that. You're even lightening it a bit with these cutouts for the frame relief. Just really like the look. It's a neat looking knife. Like I said, it's business-like, but at the same time, it's got a lot of art appeal to it. It's got a lot of different design notes to it. Well, let's take some measurements real quick. So we have an overall of, I'm going to call that just under 8 inches. And we've got about a 3.4 inch blade, thereabouts. We've got a blade stock in millimeters of 3.4, which translates to what? Yes, 0.13 inches. And while we're on inches, let's take a look at the handle. 0.52 inches across the beam. Let's see what we got for a weight. I have a weight of a pretty light 4.25 ounces. So it doesn't feel like much in the hand. Nice action. I don't get quite as much snap off that front flipper as I do with the authority of the Thumbstuds, which are nicely contoured, kind of that stacked circle pyramidal contour to them. Let's try that front flipper again. Yeah, I mean, it's there. I'm not a real front flipper kind of a guy. Doesn't stand out too far. It's about even with the end of the knife. You can roll it open, no problem. I'm sure there are many of you out there that'll do a better job at front flipping it than I do. I'm an old-fashioned thumb stud sort of guy. Some of my first knives had thumb studs, Mel Pardue Customs, and some of those back in the 80s. How about a comparison? A knife that I thought would make a good comparison is the Bestech Exploit, and that is a hole opening, front flipping knife from Bestech and designed by Todd Knife and Tool. One of my favorite blades, and like a little brother to the Shodan. But look at the blade shapes here, and aren't they sort of similar in that triangular shape? Although here we don't really have the same effect of having that harpoon look to it. We do have a finger choil, but it's a little shorter and it's a little deeper. And certainly we've got a handle that drops a little bit rather than goes straight back. They both drop a little bit. And are they about the same size? Looks like the Exploit is around a 1/2 inch longer overall. If we change the perspective, does that look any different? Yeah, I would call it still about a 1/2 inch longer overall. And the blade's pretty close. So we got a little bit longer handle perhaps on the exploit. And the exploit is solid titanium, no handle overlays, although I think you can get it with a carbon fiber on one side. Continuing the comparison, we have the Griptilian, and the Griptilian pretty much same size overall. So you got basically a Griptilian sized knife here with the Fenrir. By the way, the Fenrir is a Nordic wolf, a mythical Nordic giant wolf. I did look that up. So with the Rat 1 here, we've got longer knife by about 3/4 of an inch at least, maybe closer to an inch. So question is this a full-size knife? It is a medium-sized knife. I've got that much left over in my grip. I can choke up with a pinch grip here on that dished out, swelled out portion there, even though it doesn't have any jimping. And I can lock in. It does really feel locked in, as though if I hit something, it is not going to slide back onto my fingers. I can hold it all the way back here in a standard grip, thumb on or thumb locked. I can use the reverse grip and have a pretty nice ramp here for the finger, for the thumb rather, and use it point down. And we can even sort of roll it edge in, but it's not as comfortable because of the way that handle is curling back. Again, an interesting design by a designer I'm newly familiar with, Greg Schob of Sparrow Knife Company. There is his logo, kind of an interesting skull of a bird. And the knife is from S35VN, if I didn't mention that. And what do we have? We've got just basically looks like a stock number next to the steel. So good solid steel, and for the money, it is, I would say, a steal of a knife, in that you're getting quite a bit here in terms of a new design, a functional size. I've gotten some feedback from people that already own this knife that have commented on the video I put out ahead of this, and they all seem to like it. That only negative might be the lack of jimping, but I don't find that for this type of knife to be a real drawback. So there you go. The Kansept Fenrir, an interesting design by Greg Schob. And thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We'll be back soon.